Most of us think of disagreement as a bad thing. It's something to avoid, right? A source of tension, of conflict. But today, we're going to flip that idea on its head. We're going to look at how to turn disagreement into one of the most productive, respectful, and even creative things you can do.
So, let me just ask you this. What if conflict was actually a creative tool? Seriously, what if, instead of being a wall that stops progress dead in its tracks, it was actually the bridge that gets you to a way better idea? That's the huge mindset shift we're diving into today.
All right, the first, most important thing to get is this. Conflict itself isn't the enemy. In fact, you know what's more damaging? Avoiding it. When you handle it right, that friction between different ideas isn't something to run from. It's the engine for innovation. It's how we grow.
I love how this is framed. Notice it doesn't say confront a person, it says confront ideas. And that's the whole game. As this insight from the HR Exchange Network points out, when we let our ideas clash, respectfully of course, we give them a chance to merge into something way stronger. It's like stress testing a blueprint, You want to find the weak spots on paper, not after you've poured the concrete.
So if conflict can be so valuable, why does it go wrong so often? Well, the problem isn't the disagreement. It's our gut reaction to it. Most of us just fall back on these really unproductive habits that hurt relationships, kill progress, and put everybody on the defensive from the get-go.
And you can really see the difference here. On the left, you've got the traps we all fall into. Blaming, being passive-aggressive, thinking it's a battle you have to win. All that does is create bad blood and shut down good ideas. But on the right, that's the goal. A focus on solving the problem, actually listening, and finding common ground. It's a total shift in approach.
And here is the really good news. There's a simple, super powerful toolkit for making that shift happen. It's a 3-step framework that's easy to remember, and you can use it anywhere, from a huge boardroom meeting to just figuring out dinner plans. So here are the 3 steps. First, you've got the cushion, where you show you're listening. Second, the pivot, which is all about building on the conversation, not shutting it down. And third, the softener, where you offer your own idea with a bit of politeness. Let's break each of those down. Okay, step 1. The cushion. This is absolutely non-negotiable. Before you say anything about your idea, you have to show the other person that you've actually heard them. Using a little phrase like, "I get where you're coming from," validates what they said. Now, it's not saying you agree, it's just acknowledging them. And that, right there, instantly lowers their defenses and builds a foundation of respect.
Now for step 2, the pivot. This is where we make one tiny little change to a single word that changes everything. We're going to replace the word but with and. Just think about it for a second. The word but just erases everything that came before it. It's a dead end. But the word and, it's an invitation. It opens the door. It says, I heard your idea, and here's another thought to add to it.
And look, this isn't just some nice, fluffy theory. An actual MIT study found that teams who used language like yes and were an incredible 35% more likely to successfully complete their projects. That stat just perfectly shows how a tiny little word change can have a huge real-world impact on getting things done. And finally, we get to step 3, the softener. All this means is using cautious words that frame your idea as a possibility, not a fact. Words like might, could, or perhaps are your best friends here. They're strategic. They let you introduce a different point of view without making the other person feel like you just told them they're wrong.
I mean, just listen to the difference. That plan is wrong. That's a direct hit. It puts them in a corner and they have to fight their way out. But saying, that plan might have some unforeseen challenges, well, that invites them to problem solve with you. You see, softening your language doesn't make your idea weaker. It actually makes it way more persuasive.
So let's pull all this together. When you use this 3-step reframe, the cushion, the pivot, and the softener, you change the entire goal of the conversation. It stops being about winning an argument and starts being about finding the best possible answer together.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The real goal is to solve the problem, not to prove that you're the smartest person in the room. When you focus on the solution, the ego just kind of melts away, and the best idea wins, whether it was yours, theirs, or some new thing you both created. Now that's what a real win looks like. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Using the cushion, the pivot, and the softener, which conversation are you going to build differently this week? Give it a shot. I think you'll be pretty amazed by what happens.